Hey guys, it's me, plus this stuff. So, yeah, it's been a little bit. I think it's been. I feel like it's 2 months, but I think it was probably just one. I don't know. But since I've talked to you last, I've got a bit of a stack of manga here, a stack of 10. And I kind of figured maybe I would just make a haul. And, yeah. So, unlike last time where I kind of sectioned it off, this time I kind of want to do it my least favorite read to my most favorite read, starting off with a manga that I haven't quite read yet. Um, so let's get into it. So when I was a kid, I wasn't huge into sports, being visually impaired and stuff. And so, um, one thing that did really intrigue me or get me interested in physical activity was watching a lot of like Jackie Chan and Power Rangers and all this. What else was there? I'm thinking of one other one as well. But there was a Ninja Turtles. But there was a bunch of that, and I really had this interest. My entire life so far, I've had this interest in karate and martial arts, and loving Cobra Kai still and Karate Kid. And so, um, when I saw this manga on the shelf, I was really curious, but at the same time, uh, not as quite. So let me just kind of show you what I have here. I haven't read it yet, but I have the first volume of Karate Survivor in Another World, and as you can tell, it's an isekai. And if you know me at all, I don't like isekai. So this was a hard sell, but luckily the manga sloth and one other friend had helped me into figuring out if I wanted to read it or not, and obviously I'm going to read it. The artwork in this is actually perfect. It's actually a good, it's simple, but it's beautiful. It's simply beautiful. And the flow of the words and the artwork is just kind of like the most you could ask for, the best you could ask for. There's a bit of a example. They have the first 4 volumes of this at the bookstore. I might go back here and get more soon if I like this one. And it was kind of a choice between this or going back and trying Dan to Dan, and I'm like, screw it, let's try the new thing. Because I've already read Dan to Dan Volume 1, and I wasn't won over at first. So let's try this, and so now I'm trying this. So that's the first one. From there we have my least favorite read, or probably the one that is going to be dropped at some point. So if you know me, I'm a horror manga guy, as you can tell. And so Kazuma's Junji Ito. Drifting Classroom is my favorite horror manga and my second favorite manga in my entire collection. And it was okay. So after reading the fourth and final hardcover for Orochi, what can I say about this? It's probably the weakest horror manga that I have read and own. And again, like I said in my Instagram story or my Instagram post, the story, the horror aspect is it's more atmospheric and less aesthetic, and so it kind of has that Twilight Zone feel where it's more of a layer of it over the main story versus actually being a part of the story. And I'm not a huge fan of that unless it's done right, which only is done right when it has a good like follow through or narrative or something that kind of holds it together and gives it a bit of a more horror edge. Like, I don't know, maybe something, I don't know. But anyway, but Orochi in general, yeah, it's a beautiful volume, beautiful volumes. I love how the spines flow, but this is going to be a drop at some point. It looks good on the shelf for now, but I don't think I'm ever going to come back to read this again. And if I do, it will just be volume 2, which has the best stories, because they're actually horror and not just trying to be horror. I'm poking, but there we go. There's Orochi. Oh yeah, of course. Let me know down below. Let me know what you thought of the ending of it. I think it's weak sauce. So from there we have the 11th volume of Mashle, Magic and Muscles. What can I say about it? It just continues to be fun. Nothing crazy. I feel like the battles are pretty much the same as they always have been. There's nothing special going on. The humor is a little more. It's there, but it's the same old. Nothing really, nothing expanding on it. The best thing about this volume is Mash's upgrade with his powers, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, it was all in all just kind of a basic volume, So, and then from there we have probably what is The weakest part, or the low point of the live action and manga, we have Alice in Borderland Volume 5. This is the beginning of Season 2 for the live action, and it was probably some of the weakest storytelling, especially when it got into the side story stuff. And it just feels a little basic. So, compared to what we have gotten so far from Alice in Borderland, this feels tame and basic and just not up to snuff. But again, it's not bad. I mean, if I were to read this and I hadn't read the beginning of Alice in Borderland, I would think it was still really awesome. So, still really worthy and still really going. And I know it's gonna pick back up later on. Trust me. When it gets to when all the characters come back together at the end, it's perfect. It's perfection. It will be great. I'm excited for that. That whole alleyway thing from the live action, the alleyway scene, the alleyway fight, that was the sickest. That was sick. So from there, okay. So we have next up we have the latest volume of the best shonen manga, in my opinion, Kaiju, or the best ongoing shonen manga. My bad, because Siren is the best shonen manga of all time. So I can't say that, but the best. Kaiju number 8, volume 6. Yeah, so kind of an unnotable volume. It's it was good, but it was kind of forgettable because it was just so fast, and the story did not surround my favorite. Well, the main character. I shouldn't say my favorite character, but and it was more around this guy and his story, and it was cool. It was good. It just didn't. It was just there. So. But still, again, nevertheless, it's still a great manga, and I love Kaiju number 8. I think it's just a lot of fun. Yeah, so from there I have some Junji Ito. We have some horror manga. Again, like I mentioned, I was going to get Shiver eventually, and I did. So we have Shiver next. Shiver, yep. Next story collection by Junji Ito. Some of the best stories in here for sure. I'm not sure. I think it's kind of on par with Smash. I think they're both about the same for me, but they both had some really great stuff and some really not so great stuff. This one had one of the best stories, I believe. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was the Marionette Mansion. That one really got me. That one was, that one got me. That one was a new one I hadn't read online about before, so that one really got me. I like that one a lot. So Shiver, yeah. Now I have them all, besides of course whatever's to come out. And continuing on from there, I actually have the newest one. So of course, if you watched my last video, I have Tombs. This had some of the best Junji Ito stories ever in it, and it's actually so fast-paced compared to the bigger ones. Like, look at the difference in size, these two. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, some of the best stories from Junji Ito in this. Really good. Really liked it. And I hear we're gonna get at least like maybe 4 more of these. There are like 4 more in the works of these. I watched the video from the Omnibus Collector, and I'm excited that they're doing more. I thought we were at the end of them. I thought we were almost done. Maybe Switch would be the last one, and now I'm hearing there's like 4 other ones possibly, along with a bunch of other stories coming. My fanboy heart just pounded hard there for that. So anyway. So of course, if you watched my last video, I got my first new manga of the year. Boys Abyss Volume 1. These are beautiful volumes, by the way. I gotta show you. They're gorgeous. Like the splines and everything. This was really good. Compared to the narration that I had watched, so my opinion on this is that it is slowed down a bit. I think this manga is just I can't say it's a lot of fun, obviously, but it was good. It was good. The biggest problem with this kind of manga is that there's really no point or no narrative too much to it. It's very open-ended, and so it can definitely fall off later on, and that's one of the biggest problems I'm going to have with this manga in general. But then again, when there is a narrative, it tends to go all over the place, so I don't really know. Usually we'll find out by the time we get to volume 13 or something like that, but if it's going to fall off or not. But from there, that's usually around the point where it falls off. So that's why I prefer manga that stay within the borders of 1 to 10 if we can, maybe 13 if it goes that far, but I feel like 10 is just the perfect number, unless you do omnibuses or something. From there, so this is a manga that I should have read years ago, and I don't know why I never did. I guess I've heard that it's been out of print here and there in the past, and I've been kind of scared to go and try to get it. But I've just been seeing it so much lately. I've been like, why am I waiting? Why am I waiting anymore? And so I picked up the first volume in the bookstore, and the second volume online on eBay, so it's a library copy, but I have the complete two omnibuses for Doubt. One of the best horror manga ever. Why have I not read this until now? This is so good. The ending and the reasons for why the game of Rabbit Doubt had happened or was happening, it didn't make a lot of sense, but it was really good, and it definitely kept me on my toes. I kind of knew from the beginning that the person who was the wolf was the wolf, but then the surprise after that, even though it was kind of weird, kind of a switch up, it definitely added to the story. If they had just cut out the first person being the wolf, it would have made more sense to me, and it would have actually been a lot better. But regardless, I really want to get Judge now. I really want to get the ongoing or the next story, which is Judge. With this was really good. Yeah, I wanted to read this back in like 2017, and now it's like 2023. Oh man, these years have gone by so fast. But yeah, there's that. Let me just show you everything that I have here. But yeah, here's everything that I got within the last, I think it was like 2 months. But that's about the haul. Of course, let me know what you got in the comments. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. So have a good day, night.